with our conversation today, which I think it's going to be worth all of the little bit of back and forth because we have an incredible group of folks joining us today. We're going to be chatting with the star and the filmmaker behind Scott Pilgrim versus the World in celebration of the anniversary, 10 years since Scott Pilgrim was in theaters. We now are going to celebrate the anniversary with it being exclusively released in Dolby Cinema at AMC theaters, which began last weekend, but there are still tickets on sale. In fact, the first weekend was sold out in many markets here in LA. So yeah, we're going to be chatting with Micheal, Cera, and Mr. Edgar Wright about the film. And I think we have Micheal, who's joining us from the Dolby. I think we got it. He's coming. There, I know you guys are all anxiously waiting. There he is. Hey, Micheal, how you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. I'm gonna see
Good.
if Edgar has joined us. Let's see. I think we're still waiting for him to join. But first of
Okay. I'm
all,
sorry. And
thank you,
I'm sorry. What is your name? Nobody's told me.
Jacqueline. Jacqueline. I
Jacqueline.
was just about
Okay.
to say
Hi,
I'm
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, and this is a
Cool.
little
Thanks.
different for IG. Thank you for joining too, by the way.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh no, it's really fun. I'm very excited to talk to you. I've been a big fan of the movie for literally forever. And yeah, I'm just so excited that we finally get to chat. That we
Me
finally get to
too.
chat about it. So real quick, while we wait for Edgar to sort of join, I will start with you. One of the reasons why we're here is because you are not about social media, and I love you for it. Unfortunately, my job, I'm not cool enough to where they don't let me, but I really do appreciate me getting one of the few times we can actually catch you on social media. But man, like this is awesome. Like 10 years. Just looking back on it for yourself, like you've done so many great shows and been involved with so many things that have been a part of the pop culture lexicon. But I'm just curious, like looking back on 10 years, how are you feeling about it now?
About the movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the movie so much, and I love I mean, it was for me one of the greatest working experiences I ever had, just because of the group and just the mountainous experience of shooting it. It was the longest, you know, working time I've ever spent on a movie. It was almost a full year, and it
Wow.
felt like longer. It just felt like we were just going to be doing it forever. I went through like a major drop, you know, like I felt a huge void when we finished the movie because it was really like a 10-month period, and these had all become all my, you know, dear friends, and then suddenly it was all gone, and I was like, wait a second, what? I thought we were that was like our life now.
Yeah. I
So,
think Edgar's joining us too, by the way. Keep going.
oh,
We're just
good.
waiting for,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
waiting for him to improve.
yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what the movie means to me. Whenever I see part of it or see the movie, it just takes me back to all that, and it's a very very warm, you know, memory for me.
Edgar, I think, is here. We just sent him a request. I'm just waiting for him to approve it. But
I hope
while
he
we're waiting on,
approves.
yes, I hope so too. For those asking, I want to be really clear. We are doing this with audio only for like a couple of different reasons, but mostly because honestly, Micheal is awesome and audio is the best way we can get him. So yeah, think of this as an IG Live podcast. We wanted to do this via Twitter, but you don't even have a smartphone.
No, that's why. Well, first of all, I think it's a little offensive that Twitter is prohibiting people who don't have smartphones. I have a computer. I'm not like sitting here with a, you know, a landline or something. But
No, no,
but yeah, no, I'm glad we could make this work though, just to have some
no,
version of yeah.
no,
And do
it's
I
great.
sound okay, by the way? Just let me get the technical questions out of the way. How is the
Yeah,
audio on your end?
you
Okay.
sound amazing. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out where Edgar is right now, but I can do two things at once. The first thing I want to talk to you about is when we did our first IG, or when we did the Twitter Spaces with the rest of the cast. First of all, I loved the fact that you still sent messages through Aubrey. That was
I felt a
amazing.
little like I was in a coma, and you know, somebody had a way to like read my neural pathways and communicate on my behalf. Oh, did I lose you? Am I? I'm
No,
not.
you're
Are you
here.
there?
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here. Yeah. I'm actually talking to Edgar to make sure he can still
Oh.
join. But what I was going to say is it was awfully great. It shows it's a testament to how much you guys love that everybody showed up to really kind of talk through it. And it was really awesome. If Edgar, if you're listening, which I think you are, your IG app is out of date. You've got to update your
Oh.
IG app. That is what it is.
Well,
So
yeah, I
Edgar,
think
sir.
I feel comfortable saying that I could probably, speak on Edgar's behalf for a lot of questions you have for him.
Yes, I think you
And
can too. First and foremost, I want you to talk about the physical act of it because
okay,
what
yeah.
he said was the reason why you were the number one person for the role was the fact that, like stature and sight, you don't look like the most like action guy, but when you did that, it just made
Yeah,
it even more funny and hilarious. So, did you enjoy the physical aspect of it? Because I think that's still to the date the most stunts you've ever done.
it is by far. Yeah. It was so much fun and demanding and, but it was also just a great kind of period for all of us to bond because we all did this kind of rigorous training program together, even the people who weren't really involved in any kind of stunts. I mean, even Michael Bacall, who is Edgar's, co-screenwriter on this, joined us for that whole period. And it just became this real bonding time for all of us, because we were all, I mean, some of these guys all kind of felt comfortable in this realm. Like, Chris Evans had already done the Fantastic Four and he kind of was used to some version of this, but the rest of us were completely out of our depth. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to like stand in front of a mirror and they're like, okay, throw a punch. And it just doesn't look good at all. And you're just like, oh my God, we have so far to go. It just to like, make a punch look good.
But y'all
So
did
yeah,
it, man. Y'all did it.
yeah, we had this amazing, encouraging group of trainers and choreographers, and every day you just get a little better at just these small things like block a kick, and that becomes a little more natural than when you did it for the first time ever. Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God. One thing I will say is the other thing about the physical comedy, which I think is interesting, is there was an issue with the stuntman and teeth. That Edgar told this story where a stuntman lost his teeth. Do you remember this from
mm.
shooting where they had to pull the teeth off of the floor with coins? Do you remember this day? You could like walk us through it.
To be honest with you, I don't remember the day.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
no, I do remember. I do remember that somebody, yeah, like got their tooth knocked out with a sword, like a big hard piece of plastic. But I don't think I witnessed it, and I think if I did, I would have been deeply disturbed by that.
no, Edgar's, I think, joining now. I think he got his app up to date. Yes,
Oh,
turn off your
good.
camera. Turn off your camera, sir, if you could please. It's on the
Oh,
right
hang on.
hand.
Hey,
It's on the
wait a second. Yeah,
right
hang
hand
on.
side of
Hang
your
on a second.
screen.
Yeah, Edgar, we're getting some really embarrassing images of like the light at the ceiling in your room there.
Just click the. It should be next to your microphone.
There you go.
Oh no, he left. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
try.
he pushed the wrong button
He
entirely
did
there.
push the wrong button.
Okay.
It's okay. We're gonna get him back. We're gonna get him back. Let's. Oh, well, now I can't get anything from him. Man,
Well, we can edit all of this out for
I know we can totally edit all of this out. All right, this is what we're gonna do, Michael, because I believe because he joined and then left, it won't let me add him back in.
Yeah,
So like
chance.
I can't.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me see. Let me see if I can get him here. I think I can get him here. Hold on. I'm gonna try and get him again because like
shot.
I hope he didn't either. All right, Edgar's coming back. Hopefully, no, he's not there. It's okay. It's gonna be. Let's move him back to being in Canada and being in Toronto. While we definitely try and get Edgar to add back in. Is it was like a love letter to Canada. Like, oh come on. Can you hear me still? I still can't out. Okay, you still see me? Okay.
Oh.
Good. What I was gonna say is the whole thing was like a love letter to Toronto, and I was just curious while you were there, and since you guys were there for a little bit of shooting time and you got to spend more time there, was there anything in Toronto that you look back on fondly, like coffee shop, donuts, anything that you and the cast and crew got to do together? All right, and I'm gonna try one more time for Edgar.
There's a million of those. We were just walking around the city all the time. I mean, we were doing night shoots for a big portion of the movie, so I just remember walking around. Oh, there's Edgar.
Edgar,
Hey,
can you
Edgar,
click
hey.
the little button that says your camera? It should be towards the bottom of your screen, like next
I'm
to the
not.
microphone.
I'm not going to tempt fate, but can you hear me?
I can hear you
Yeah.
just fine.
Oh,
Here,
listen,
just flip your camera
just
over so that way we can just hear you. Just flip it over.
I can't. This thing is being really buggy, so I'm just gonna look at the ceiling. I don't
Yeah,
care. Like,
There you
let's
go.
do the
I'm
ceiling.
not gonna.
I'm all
touch
about it.
anything. Like, so, I apologize to everybody. Like, this last like 10 minutes is more stressful than anything that happened on the shoot.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just glad you're here because I was like, everyone is screaming in the comments, "Where's Edgar?" And I'm like, y'all, I'm trying. I really am because they love this movie so much and they love you so much, and so they want to talk to you about it. Actually, I'm going to start with you as my dog loses it because that would be the ultimate thing that we have to add to everything else. I wanted to ask you about the teeth scene because I was trying to get Michael to remember it, and he said he couldn't remember the stuntman losing his teeth.
I think maybe you probably blocked it out with PTSD,
Yeah,
Michael.
that sounds right. Yeah, I don't think I would have like locked
Well,
that memory away.
Michael didn't actually witness it because Michael, went to get a coffee, so he was not did not witness the actual thing happening. But I remember vividly you coming back with a coffee in your hand and seeing everybody look for the teeth on the floor and saying, "Oh, what happened, guys?"
Are we shutting down for insurance?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Edgar, since you joined here, and again, we talked about this on Twitter Spaces, but I really want you to, sorry, my dog, document this experience because honestly, the fact that this is getting a Dolby release is pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's I've got to say, like, the sort of response over the last week from people who've been going to see the movie has been really astonishing. And it's not just the response to the movie itself, but it's also the fact that people have gone to the movies for the first time in a year. There are many, many people who went to go and see the movie. It was also the first time they'd gone back to cinemas. So that means a lot to me because I'm a big believer in the big screen experience, and I think it proves, like going to see the movie on the big screen, and this week in Dolby Cinema, like with the Dolby Atmos mix and the Dolby Vision, it just sort of shows what you can't get at home. So that was just a really amazing thing to me. Is just the response of people has been incredible and very moving. Like for a film that's like 11 years old, it sort of proves that people want to go and experience it with their friends and with strangers and just see it on a bigger screen is just, a profoundly different experience to watching it at home.
Absolutely.
Edgar, have you gone to any of the screenings?
Well, I'm in London, so no. I wish I would. If I was in the States, I would have been sneaking along to the AMC Burbank or the Century City one, but no. I mean, I've been getting reports from people who have been going, like I've been getting reports from people who have been going, Brian Lee O'Malley went, and my PA Richie Starzak went, and Michael Bacall and Jared LaBeouf, one of the producers. So I've just been getting these reports from people who went along.
Awesome. I was also one of the people who got to hear that firsthand. I'm not gonna lie to you, I love Scott Pilgrim and I wanted to work out, but I live by the New Beverly and it was kind of my home theater, and so I was waiting for that to open up to like get close to it. But I'm going this weekend. I got Jason's movie, I got your movie. It's theaters are back and people are excited about it. Michael, speaking of the fans of it, I will say this, like with everything, I think everybody is just kind of happy to have anything that folks resonate with. But I would also imagine it makes it to where like you have these strange fan interactions on this movie. It's so quotable. People probably come up to you quoting things or trying to like talk to you about how bread makes you fat. Like, I'm just curious if you have any interesting fan interactions specifically related to Scott Pilgrim that sort of stick in your mind.
One that happened recently, which was, I guess, just, pre-pandemic. It feels like recently, but it was maybe 2 years ago now. But I was like walking on the street somewhere near IFC in New York, near the IFC theater, and this guy was walking by, and he like just kind of quickly rolled up his sleeve and showed me the tattoo on his arm, which is like the doodle of Ramona that Scott makes at the party. Like,
Oh my gosh.
this girl with hair like this? He had that on his arm, which is really cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
that, especially considering that level of commitment. Did you do that doodle?
Yeah.
Who did that doodle? You
No,
did that doodle.
I definitely did not do it. Well,
Brian
I think
did.
it was exactly taken from the. Yeah, Brian probably did it, right?
Yeah,
Brian
Brian
did
did
it.
it. Okay, Brian
Yeah.
did that one. Awesome. Edgar, I have to ask you about this. Since you said you got these things, do you have any of the tweets that you got this weekend? Because you're pretty big on Twitter, and I'm sure some people were like adding you with like movie tickets or maybe even cosplay for all I know.
I just got like responses. I mean, I did like send out a tweet before the weekend saying like, if you're going to see it this weekend, let me know how your experience is. And I just got tons and tons of responses to that, and it was really amazing, just in terms of how it made people feel, and like some of them were quite emotional as well. It was really incredible. I mean, yeah.
Awesome. I'm actually going to bring it back to the Dolby aspect of it, because the other thing that's so crazy is because Sex Bob, like, that's like legit songs. And in fact, the Brie Larson song that is not with that, but with her band, like all of these songs are very much like folks are playing them and still being about them. And I'm just curious with you, Micheal, was that a fun aspect of you playing Rockstar for a while? Like, I know Mark was talking, like they were both talking about like some of y'all did some more of the guitar playing and some of y'all didn't. Like, how far were you on actually learning the instrument, and how far did you go on becoming sort of a rock god for a movie?
Well, I mean, I kind of grew up playing guitar, to some extent, like at home and with friends. So it wasn't completely a new like thing for me to learn the way it was for Mark or Allison, where, I mean, it's so awkward the first time you ever pick up a guitar and just try and like strum. It feels so weird. You think it's going to be so natural, and it's really not. So they had to start from scratch with that. And I had a bit of a head start on that. But yeah, that was like another really fun part of this whole experience for me, was we had Chris Murphy was kind of our like band trainer. We had like all the stunts trainers, and then we would go and do like band time with Chris, and it was so much fun, and the music was so exciting and great. And that was just a whole other kind of experience that we got to have, that little group of us.
Yeah.
I loved that. I mean, we never really played the music live, but I think by the end of the movie we could have. I think that everybody kind of like locked in their part, especially Allison, who basically showed up like fully locked in on her parts.
Wow. Yeah. Go ahead.
The other thing that's amazing about that is that because I think I mentioned this when we did the Twitter Spaces thing, that Beck had sort of improvised the demos, and so there are lots of things in the songs where they're improvising and jamming. So Allison had to memorize these changing time signatures because they were sort of winging it.
Right.
And it wasn't like a standard like song. It had like kind of like mistakes in it and things to learn. So I feel like it was, I mean, Micheal, when we did the one the other day, Mark Webber was talking about how like he was most intimidated by the guitar, as in trying to play and sing at the same time. And he said the fact that you were so good at it like made it somehow worse. He was so well aware that out of you, him, and Allison, he was like was not doing so good.
And Mark also had to sing, which is like so vulnerable when you have to like lead like that. And he was amazing though. I think once he kind of got past that, it was great.
No.
It felt Yeah, he
No.
killed it.
I mean, I think Edgar also mentioned, like, on Spotify streams, like, all of the songs from the film do incredibly well. And then Edgar, recently, y'all were finally able to release the Brie Larson version. Is this correct? Like, people can now listen to her vocal tracks, which before it was just Metric. They had their song on the soundtrack, but now they can hear the Brie Larson version.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
the
cool.
the recently released, there's a 6 LP box set that ABKCO released where, you know, they came to me and said, we'd like to do like a special edition Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. And I said, if you don't have the Brie Larson Black Sheep version on there, it's not worth doing at all. Because
Wow.
I get asked about it every day.
Oh, that's great.
So so basically the reason that the Brie version wasn't on there in the first place is because it's Metric's song, and Metric asked if their version could be on the soundtrack. And fair play to them, it's Emily Haynes' song, so that's why it's on there. So then, like, literally 10 years later, I called up Emily Haynes and said, hey, like, we're going to do the special edition. Is it cool if we put Bree's version on there as well as yours? And she was like, oh yeah, fine. So it's really good, the new version, because it has Bree's Black Sheep, and it has the Missing Sex Bomb songs, and then it also has some of Beck's improvisations for the Ramona acoustic number.
That's great.
I love that. Yeah, every girl named Ramona has so much theme music, and I'm very, very jealous because there are not near as many songs about Jacqueline. I'm going to read out a couple of tweets that we actually got from this past weekend.
There's a Franz Ferdinand song called Jacqueline.
I do know that. But like Ramona has like 15 million songs on that name because it rhymes well. Jacqueline is not as easy to rhyme. I know this. Jermaine Lessiter, who folks will know from IO9 and previously from Slash Film, he said, this is a guy that watches a lot of movies, so I'll take this as very good. This was legitimately the best theatrical experience I've ever had in a long time, even pre-COVID. That movie, super big, super crisp, super loud, with the best seats rumbling through the music scenes. One word comes to mind. Wow. And he put up your wow, Michael, from that. So we have that one.
That's
and
fair.
Also from Dave Green, just got out of the Dolby Atmos screening of Scott Pilgrim. Edgar Wright, I don't think I've heard a band mix that well in a movie like ever. Looked and sounded brilliant, and AMC Theaters is on point with their safety procedures in NYC. That's really dope. Like, I don't think there's, Edgar, I think you know exactly which movies maybe beat you guys at the box office at the time. But I don't think they're getting love letters like this on Twitter for anything that they're doing now.
Jacqueline, like, you didn't need to bring up the Expendables and Eat, Pray, Love, but you did it. So, you know, listen, I mean, I just like, that's the thing that's nice, is like, it feels a bit like with Scott Pilgrim, it's like the tortoise and the hare. Do you know what I mean? It's like 10 years later, we get the highest screen average.
Yes, I love that. Hey, look, man, better late than never. It's a marathon, not a sprint, especially with movies that you love. I mean, look, I watch TCM and will ever be subscribed to Criterion because I have to be able to watch all of these old movies again. And I do feel like, you know, we're maybe not there yet, but do we have a Criterion of Scott Pilgrim? You know, we can make that happen, right, Edgar? Come on.
I think the reason is why there's no Criterion is because the Blu-ray itself is so comprehensive. It's not like there's anything extra.
There's nothing else to do.
Right.
Yeah. Don't forget to pick up the Blu-ray, guys, too, once you leave the theater.
Well, also later in the year, as some people I think already know, that the UHD 4K of like Scott Pilgrim will be coming out, which is basically the home version of the Dolby Cinema version that we did. So that's kind of coming out, I think, don't quote me on this, in July.
Oh, that's so awesome. I really do love that when you have movies that, and I do know that they'll have every single version out there. I have those films, and this is definitely one of those films. Michael, I want to bring it to you to I mean, I don't even know if there has been a time since then that you've even watched it or done whatever. You definitely talked about the tattoo. That was good. Do you have a line that you remember that like would still make you laugh? Because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There's still, it's so hard. Every day I say that one whenever anybody asks me to do anything.
I think like my favorite line in the movie, and I'm pretty sure it was kind of all of our favorite, like during the rehearsal time and all through the movie was like he punched the highlights out of her hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That just
Jo-
always
Jo-
gets me.
Johnny Simmons audition. We used to watch Johnny Simmons
Yeah,
audition all the
it
time.
was so good. Yeah, that
Oh,
line
he's so
always
great.
gets me. That line, it really kind of was like, okay, this movie has to be great with a moment like that.
No, and everybody involved should be so proud. I mean, Edgar, you really did assemble a dream team, as I said on the Twitter Spaces. I mean, you got Micheal with like his incredible career both before and after. You've got a couple of the Avengers up in there, and Superman. Like seriously, this is all right there. Aubrey, everybody's just done so much.
Well,
But
also listen. Let's don't forget that we have a superhero on the line right now because Michael Cera, of course, is Lego Robin.
this is right. This is right. Oh my God. Thank you for correcting me on that. You're right. We have another superhero on the line as well. Ooh, I do not want to do that. I
Thank
don't
you.
want to take it back.
Thank
Oh
you so
man.
much.
Thank you for reminding me about that one, Edgar. I really, really do appreciate it. When we were on the Twitter Spaces, we had Mary Elizabeth on there to talk about her and just like the Ramona and everything. But it was so interesting to get Team Knives, Team Ramona from her perspective. And I know, Edgar, I
Hmm.
feel like at this point, I feel even bad mentioning it to you because I feel like you have talked about it so much. But Michael, I haven't heard you talk about it that much because that was such a thing. In my days on Tumblr, like there was just so much. There was Team Ramona, there was Team Knives, and those girls were worse than NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Like it was like a thing.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Really?
so I'm curious if you even saw any of that because I know you're very social media version. But yeah, there were so many people that had strong opinions, which I think is a
Wow.
testament to the writing of those women that so many people loved them, that they felt this like tribalism to like why they should be right. So where do you even like know about
Wow.
this, or
I
you're like,
don't know. No, I didn't know about that. I love that.
yeah,
I
they're
mean,
all fighting over you. So we
yeah, that's
would.
the problem with the
My
equation. It's like which one of them deserves Scott? Um, I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, I feel like I just did an interview a few months ago where it was kind of like, if it was today, it would probably be, that ends up having neither one of them and just hangs out with Mega Scott for the rest of his life or something. And they are both like, let's go get someone mature.
What
well,
about you, Edgar?
I always see that the ending. I sort of responded to somebody on Instagram about this the other day, where like they said something where they said oh that they didn't like the very ending because they didn't think that Scott Pilgrim deserved Ramona after all the bad things he did in the film. And I responded and I said, well, the intention of the ending is that Scott Pilgrim has learned from his mistakes, and what he's saying in the final scene is not let's go off into the sunset together and get married. He's saying, can we try again? As in, can we just go back and try again at doing this with everything I've learned? So in a way, like, that's where it ends with the continue countdown. Is
Right.
my intention with it is the idea that Scott Pilgrim kind of wants a do-over. It's like he's learned his lesson. He's learned that kind of you can't treat people like shiny objects in a video game. They're not items to be picked up. They're real people with kind of feelings, and that's made explicitly clear to him by Knives and Kim and Ramona and other people. So really, at the end of
Right.
the movie, it's like he's asking to start the movie again with the wisdom that he's learned.
Mm.
So that to me is like the sort of the point of the movie is that he gets a sort of like a sequel essentially would be him like doing the movie again, like sort of having being a better person.
Yeah. And Edgar, Michael, everybody involved in this is so busy. So the idea of assembling you guys again would be harder than the first Avengers movie in so many ways. But I mean, do you hope that there's more stories in this universe? Do you think that that's something that you'd want to see in the future, in any form? Like, what do you think, Edgar, going forward?
I feel like I get this call from Universal every now and again where they're saying, what could we do with Scott Pilgrim that's not an expensive sequel? So I mean, there is something that kind of like is being like worked on, which is something that's like a potential expansion of it, which I won't talk about because it hasn't been announced, but hopefully that comes together. I mean, I don't know whether like one of the great things about it in a way is that like the film sort of like sometimes when something doesn't have a sequel and it's just like a one-off, it doesn't mean that it's perfectly preserved like that forever. And I think in a weird way that's one of the reasons that people return to the movie and even like enjoy it like this weekend, like it's a completely new movie. Because I'd say this, and this is like not me being cocky about my own movie. I'm just going to give credit to the visual effects. Like when I watched it just before Christmas, this version, there wasn't really anything that I thought I would particularly change. Like in terms of the visuals, I thought, well, this looks as good as anything else that's out there now. Like, so it is that sort of strange thing. Sometimes you watch films with a lot of visual effects and they look dated, but because Scott Pilgrim was quite stylized, it doesn't really feel that dated. So I don't mind that there's not a sequel personally. In a way, it's just like it's this thing that exists in its own right. And if you want to read more of the stories, there's the books which kind of go into a lot more detail, and I think that's fine.
I think that's fine too.
Maybe just as an excuse to get the cast together again, there's a version of a sequel or like a non-sequel where it's like what they do with American Horror Story, where you just have the whole cast do a different story completely. And I would suggest the Bill and Melinda Gates story.
Yeah.
By the way, oh my God, yeah.
I think I could do Bill. Mary could probably do Melinda. And then we just fill it out. The rest of the people are our Microsoft family or the foundation or something.
Yeah, but I want to get Mackenzie Bezos in there, and I think Anna Kendrick could do that justice because they need to have adventures. Melinda Gates and Mackenzie Bezos need to go have some billionaire wife adventures, and I am here for it.
We could do like it could be a double, date vacation movie. It would be more expensive to shoot than Scott Pilgrim probably if we wanted to realistically depict one of their vacations, but it could be fun.
What's that film that Anna did in Aubrey? It could be called Bill and Jeff Need Wedding Dates.
Yes! Oh my God, yes! I forgot they did that together. Again, like
Jeff.
I'd watch that movie.
I would watch that movie too. I would watch a movie with any of these folks involved in it. Again,
Jason Schwartzman could do a good Jeff Bezos, I think, with the proper prosthetics.
I'm with it. We're writing this movie as we speak, and this is like so not cool because this is how people steal internet ideas. But hey, listen, I know we had some technical difficulties, but I really enjoyed talking to you guys because this movie, it's a testament to the fact that everybody wants to listen, everybody wants to talk about it, the fact that people are still asking you guys about sequels. That means that you made an incredible piece of cinema that lives in the hearts of fans. And so for folks that haven't, go grab a ticket. It is back in theaters at AMC Dolby Atmos. Well, yeah.
I wanted to make two announcements. Like, number one is there's a reason that me and Michael have our cameras turned off, is that we didn't want to reveal to the world that we're actually in the same room, and that me and Michael are a couple and have been for the last 11 years. So, I'm saying that now before the National Enquirer get it. Like, number two, this is important.
Get ahead of it.
So. It's in Dolby Cinema right now, and the exclusive Dolby Cinema run ends, I guess, tomorrow night, Thursday night. But I can exclusively reveal that because it went so well this weekend, that Universal are expanding it this weekend. So I guess last weekend it was on like 150 screens. And now I think this weekend you should check your local listings because Scott Pilgrim's, I think, on
great.
500 screens nationwide.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Now,
That
now
is so amazing.
and that's not just AMC. So you should just check your local listings. And some of those are the Dolby Atmos version, and some of them are not. But like basically, if you are a fan, also if you want to see it for the first time on the big screen, you want to see it for the 10th time on the big screen, or you've never seen it, or you want to drag somebody that's never seen it, then it's going to be playing like all over, like starting Friday. So you should check your local listings and see where it is expanding to. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter were saying like, Scott Pilgrim is not playing, and there were various whole states where it wasn't playing, like I think Oregon and Utah and stuff. So
Yeah.
basically, please check your local listings.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, because I saw that. I didn't know that it was ending the run. I'm going to the AMC over here by me. I'm also in the Valley, so I'm going to I think Century City because it was still there. But I'm glad to see that it's expanding because I grew up in a small town where the closest movie theater that played anything good was 2 hours. So I feel for those people that have to that are now going to be able to get to see it that couldn't. So thank you both so much,
So cool.
Mr. Micheal, Cera, Mr. Edgar Wright, and also Dolby. Of course, my folks at RT, but also the folks at Universal Pictures. This was done with tons of people involved to make sure it happened. So I really, really appreciate everyone's effort. And I appreciate you guys for hanging in here through the technical stuff.
That was all
Thank
me.
you.
I pulled the Micheal Cera this time.
No, we're all good, man. I love that we made it through. And we'll hopefully see you guys next time for something else. Really appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you, Jacqueline.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you,
And I'm
Jacqueline.
going to thank y'all. And y'all can click out because I can't click out for you, but I got to do my little wrap up.
Now I got to
Thank
figure
y'all.
that out.
Yeah, just close the app, hopefully, and it should get you out of here.
Bye, everybody. Go see the movie on Friday.
All right, let's see. Okay, thank y'all so much for listening. Again, check out Scott Pilgrim versus the World this weekend at either AMC, Dolby Atmos, or expanding to theaters near you. Please go see the film. Frequent your local movie theaters. They desperately miss you guys. All right, that's it for us here at Rotten Tomatoes, and we'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow, we'll be back with another IG Live series. We'll be talking to the folks from Jupiter's Legacy. Please tune in for that. And then on Friday, we'll be talking to Mr. Kelvin Harrison Jr. about his latest film hitting Netflix, Monster. Again, my name is Jacqueline. You can find me at that Jacqueline anywhere else, and see y'all next time. Bye-bye.